Hey folks, Randy Go, Trout Magnet Man with you here today. Today I'm going to do a video about what I call channel talk and about my new organizational boxes I got from my Jig Heads and lures and for fishing in general. So I'll be right back. I want you to take a little look at this clip of me showing you the tackle bag I put it in and how I've got it arranged in there, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about these boxes. Okay folks, here's the inside view of this tackle bag. Over here, what I'm keeping is a few packages of trout magnets. Over here I got some spare trout magnets and some ring kicktails. This compartment I have a pair of aluminum pliers, stainless steel pliers, my power wigglers that are cut up, and my leader and my line trimmers. Okay, now here's the magic of this, or at least I think it's the magic of this box. I have 4 of these groove micro jig cases, which I'm going to talk about them a little later on. Those are all the 1.5 weights in that one right there. And this one right here are 1.5 weights of new jig heads I'm going to be trying out because the Daiwa Gekkoman jig heads are out of production, best of my understanding, so I got to find something new. Some of these are Magbite, some of them are ODZ. I've had them for months and months, but today I'm going to talk about them and going to get out and fish with them as soon as I can get out. And then here's some more. I've got the 0.5 to 1 gram jig heads in this one. This one is 2 gram with a number 6 hook and number 8 hook. In case I'm using it for white bass. And then we have the Piranha Clips case, and this one, all I have in it right now at this time is some 1.2 gram Presso Eve spoons to use with the Daiwa extra ultralight when the bluegill go on bed. And then we have this box here, which is the Plan D. Now this is a great waterproof case, great little box. Let me up here show it to you. This thing holds hard baits, which I never got into hard baits until, I don't know, last year or so. I mean, I did years ago, but in ultralight angling I just kind of avoided them. And you can see here you have the rings here. Get that up there where it'll stay. Let's set it down right here. You have the little wire post here that you hook it on, then you put the hooks down in this material here. It holds them securely. It will hold 20 on each side for a total of 40, so you don't need many of them. It is 100% waterproof with a vent inside it. The groove cases are not waterproof. They have magnetic closures, which are nice. But anyway, now I'm going to go sit down and talk about these groove cases and about the Plan D box, about the Piranha Clips box. And this is just a small bag. I didn't want to buy a big bag. I don't like carrying a lot of gear. So anyway, let's get this back at the desk where I can sit down and talk about it. Okay folks, I'm back. What I did was I bought 4, actually I bought 5 because I have my wade vest set up with these boxes too. I bought 5 of these groove micro jig boxes. Now these boxes are great at keeping your jigs in one place. You can shake, you can do whatever, they ain't coming loose. I've tried everywhere in the world to get them loose. Now these are not waterproof. The groove boxes are not waterproof. They have a magnetic clasp which works fine. In this jig box I happen to have, these are all 1.5 gram from number 10 hooks down to the number 6 hooks, number 10, number 8, number 6. Then in this groove box I have some 0.5s and some 1 grams. Then in this groove box I have all 2 gram with number 6 hook for when I'm fishing for white bass or something bigger where I got to go deeper. Then in this box, and we will talk about these in just a little bit, I have some new jigs to try out. I say new, I've had them for months and months. I've probably had them for a half a year or better. They're 1.5 gram. That's my sweet spot, go-to jig head, and we'll talk about them in just a minute. Then I have the Piranha Clips spoon box. And what I have in here now is just some Daiwa Presso Eve micro spoons, 1.2 gram. These boxes work by, there's a foam padding here. And then there's foam up here in the lid. You can see this. And when you close it, the foam presses down. They're not going anywhere. You can shake them around, do whatever you want to, they won't move. Now, I don't generally fish many hard baits, especially in the spring and summer, but these spoons I'm going to fish, and this box keeps them all secure. Then, this is the Plan D box. This is a completely waterproof box. It's vented to keep moisture out, not just waterproof, but it will let moisture out. This has, I showed you this outside, this has the 10 post here that you put your lure in, then you put your hook in down here, and it holds them secure. You can take this box, shake it, and what you hear there is you hear the blades of the spinnerbait hitting one another. You open it back up, everything is as it should be. It isn't going anywhere. These boxes are fantastic. Now, the reason that I never used any other thing besides one box, I had my jigs in there loose, I had my what few hard baits I carried in a little bitty plastic box. I never found anything that I really liked. I tried some Kinder Jig Boxes. They were supposed to be real good. They didn't work out. They wouldn't hold your jigs, and for long you just had a bunch of loose jigs in there. So what I did is I just started keeping my jigs in the Daiwa packaging they come in. I just get one out when I needed it, and that was that. But I never did like that. I wasn't happy with it. And so I said, you know, I'm going to put together a little tackle bag, and I'm going to make something a little bit better. And so that's what I did, and going to get out on the water and try this system out. And I've used this, I have the same system set up in my wading vest. I have a Plan D box in there with a lot of spinner baits and the spoons, and I have a Piranha Clips box in there with some crankbaits, micro crankbaits for trout. And I have, I think I mentioned already, I have one groove box with a few 0.5 gram jig heads, some 1 gram jig heads, and 1.5 gram jig heads. Now I told you we were going to talk about these jig heads. These are going to be new to me, even though I've had them for a long time. I just have not used them. These are some jig heads made by Magbite and by ODZ. The ODZ jig head has possibilities, and I think I might like this. It has, you can see right here, there's a little holder there, a bait holder, and it does hold the trout magnet on secure. And they're sharp enough. They're not as sharp as a Daiwa Gebekin jig head or Gekkoben jig head. And the ODZs are all made in Japan. And I think it might work out, but it's just going to take time testing them out to see. And then I have the Magbite jig heads in the standard wire, and I think the other name of the wire is the tough wire, hard wire. Let's see what it says here. I forget, but there's two types of wire depending on the size hook you get in the Magbite. The fine wire looks like, or standard wire I should say, looks like they're going to work out fine. They're the AGI Killer jig heads, and I think iFish has done a review on these. He did them not too long back. And like I said, I've had these jig heads for a long time. I just never used them. Yeah, the standard wire comes on a number 10 hook. The standard wire is thin. It's almost needle sharp as the Daiwa, almost. And the strong wire is number 8. And I got some of both to try, and I will report on them and let you know, because a lot of you know that fish the Daiwa Jig Heads, you know that they're out of production, and if they're not out of production, you're not going to be able to get any for, I don't know about all this sourcing and production, but due to COVID, maybe another year before all this gets, maybe another 2 years. I don't know. I don't have a clue. So I said, I need to start looking for something that, it may not be good as the Daiwa Gekko Jig Head, but it's going to be far better than the Jig Heads I buy here as far as sharpness goes. And these Magbite and ODZ, they are some sharp jig heads. There's no doubt about it. And I've got probably 7 or 8 other brands of jig heads out in the garage that I might get around to trying if these don't work out. Also, folks, get a lot of comments on the channel about try this rod, try that rod, and I like those comments and keep them coming, because it may introduce me to some rod I haven't heard about. You know, I noticed iFish had done a video about Calamus Abu Garcia, which turns out evidently is the exact same rod as the Diplomat Extreme, but I'd never heard of the Calamus. So, you know, but here's the thing: when you ask me to try a rod, it's not that I don't want to try the rod. I can't try them all. I can't afford them all. It takes a lot of money to buy these rods, and there's just no. Believe you me, I would love to try every single one. Someone recommended the other day a Rodeo Craft rod, talking about how good it was, and there's no doubt that it's a fantastic rod. I've been reading about them for several years, but there again, I can't afford them all, and right now sourcing one can be difficult. Same way I've read about anglo rods for years, but those are extremely expensive, and would I ever buy one? I'm not going to say never, but they're awful expensive. Right now, my rod buying is leaning towards your area trout rods, which I'm a huge fanatic of area trout rods, and because they're more in line with what we know as ultralight angling here. Aging rods, I have, believe you me, I've bought over a dozen aging rods over the years. They're fantastic rods. They're super sensitive. That's what they're made to be, but they don't quite have the power, even though they may be rated ultralight for aging. An ultralight aging rod is a completely different animal than an ultralight area trout rod. The area trout rod are going to be much softer, even though the power is the same, but you're talking about a completely different type rod. Now, the Maberu rods, I could be buying some more of them. They are softer in action than the aging rods, but while I'm focusing on area trout rods now, I'm also focusing on these new hybrid rods. When I first started doing this, if there was a hybrid saltwater light game rod, I didn't know about it. There was either aging, Maberu, or area trout rod. Well, here in the past few years, they've been coming up with the hybrid rods. The Real Finesse Eradicator series by Abu Garcia, those are hybrid rods meant for light saltwater game fish. The Tenru Lunikia, that's a hybrid rod. And you're starting to see more and more of those show up, and I'm a huge fan of those. I love the Abu Garcia Slow Taper Special. It's not an aging rod, it's not a Beirut rod, but it's a fantastic rod, and going to be trying to get some more of them. Looking for a Abu Garcia Real Finesse with the carbon micro guides. Can't find them. Nobody's got them. That's the way it is with a lot of this stuff. Nobody's got hardly anything. I mean, I say they don't have hardly anything. There's obviously stuff to be bought, but you're just going to be looking for a particular item and they don't have it. Like, for instance, people trying to buy rods now. Yeah, there's some rods you can buy here and there, but you know, a lot of rods you can't source. And I know I may say that a lot, but that's just a fact. You can't source them. But anyway, we're going to get out and fish when we can. I'm sure some of you live here in Tennessee where I do. You know about the flooding we've had. You can't get out on the lakes. You can't even find the boat ramps. If you could get out on the lakes, the trash is in the lakes. I'm talking about trees and debris, and it's pretty bad, folks. It's pretty bad. No matter where I want to go, I can't fish. The only lakes I could possibly get on is the TWA family fishing lakes, and I noticed the other day even 1 or 2 of them were closed due to high water, which is highly unusual. But they'll be more apt to be open to fish sooner than, say, Nickajack, Normandy, Center Hill, Dale Hollow. You ain't gonna get on them right now. That ain't gonna happen. But I'm gonna get out and fish as soon as I can. I don't need to be home sitting. That's a fact. I need to be out fishing. It's as the saying goes, everything eats in March, April, and May, and them fish they're ready to eat, and I need to be out there to catch them. That's a fact. So anyway, just wanted to show you about the storage that I'm using now. Some of you might want to do it. Some of you might not. The boxes are expensive. These are all none of these boxes are out of Japan. It's all USA sourced stuff. But you know what they say, you do get what you pay for, and they will. I plan on them lasting a long time. And like I said, I will leave a link to the guy's video where he talks about this. He's an ice fisherman. It's not my idea. Don't want to come across it was my idea, but he had a good idea, and I picked up on it, and I'm going to utilize them, and we'll tell you how they do. I've already been using them in my my wade fishing vest. Ice fishing. I don't do any ice fishing, but in my wade fishing vest, I've been using these for a couple of weeks, and they work out real good. I really like them. It's great for organizing your jigs. But like I said, I'll leave a link to his video, and I will tell you how these jigs work out because the bluegill are going to be up shallow. And I can throw these. If I lose a bunch of these, you know, I'd rather lose these than to die with gecko and jig heads. But it will also give me a good chance to find out just, okay, how good at hooking up rate do I get off of these jig heads. And that's going to be important. I'll be using them for trout fishing too. So anyway, folks, appreciate all the comments. Appreciate you watching. Oh, another thing. I was going to do some rod giveaways. Well, folks, there's no rods to give away. The trout magnet B&M Leland's TCB rods out of stock. Nobody's got them. Trout Magnet don't have them. I don't think B&M has them. I was going to get some to give away. There's none to be had. So it's just rough everywhere you go, folks. I read on forums every day, people trying to buy this, trying to buy a fish finder, trying to buy a trolling motor, trying to buy a fishing rod, trying to buy a certain type of hook, certain type of this. A lot of stuff is just not out there. Whether you're trying to buy it out of Japan or out of the States, it's just not there. When all this gets sorted out, I don't know. But anyway, folks, once again, I hope all of you are safe. Hope all of you are healthy. I appreciate you watching. Appreciate the support of the channel. Keep the comments coming in. We're going to get out and fish just as soon as we can. So until next time, soar up them all, and life is good.